In this video, I'm going to show you how 90% of attracting money, love, and success is complete when you do this one thing. This is simple. It's something that when you apply, changes everything. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you that one thing if you do, you will be able to attract money, love, and success easier than ever before. This is also, and paradoxically enough, the one thing that blocks people when they don't do it. It's the one thing that's most often the thing that blocks people from attracting what they want in life. And even more powerful than, and I've been making law of attraction videos on YouTube for a while now. And, this is kind of how the channel started. I was talking about, law of attraction, how we attract the reality based on what we focus on. However, I used to always say the saying a lot, and it was a quote, I think I may have heard it from Dr. Wayne Dyer. It's that you don't always attract that which you want, but you always attract that which you are. That which you are. Now, what that means is that even though you may say, like, I want a Lamborghini, I want a Lamborghini. Well, you can want it, and first off, anytime you want something, you vibrationally are saying that you don't have it, because if you want it, it means that you lack it in the present moment. So the thing is, though, is when you say that, I want it, you affirm the lack of it, but are you the kind of person that believes you even deserve a Lamborghini? Are you the kind of person that's in alignment with creating the kind of abundance in the world that then gives you back a reflection of you being abundant enough to have that Lamborghini? You get in life that which you are. So you must become the kind of person that is able to have the abundance to then have that, you see? Because having that kind of freedom and abundance is a reflection of your own inner abundance, of your own inner wealth, and how much value you're able to put out into the world, because the value that you put out into the world then comes back at you. So it's a different way of thinking about it, but when you looking at who you are, that's where things really begin to change. And anytime I look at my own life, when it comes to attracting money, love, success, whatever it is, it's come from me changing at the identity level, the way that I saw myself. Now, here is the thing, and here is the key. Here is the one thing you must do, where 90% of the process is complete when you do this thing. So let's look at these two different aspects. We have who we currently are. We have the current way we've been living. Our thoughts are equal to the reality we're currently living. Our emotions are equal to the reality we're currently living. The actions that we take right now are equal to the way that we are currently living. And we have a certain story that we tell ourselves about who we are. The story we tell ourselves and the identity we have for who we are is on autopilot. So before, if I look at my own life, and I used to have ADHD, I couldn't focus, I saw myself as somebody that had ADHD, had this label, it's a part of my identity. And beyond that, my thoughts were equal to that reality. I was also at the time working a 9-to-5 job I didn't care about. I felt resistant about my past. I felt a lot of resistance and anger. And my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, the way I saw myself, the unworthiness that I felt was all equal to that story that I told myself. Now, when I made the shift from this to this, where I realized and I identified the way that I preferred to be, I saw that the version of me that had money, love, success, all of the things that I wanted, I looked at that version of me. And I audited it and saw that with this version of me, I had a vision for it. So we have the old self, the old story, and then the new story, the new way that we prefer to be. That was more in alignment with my true vibration. And I identified that. And then what I did is I created the bridge, a vibrational bridge, where what I did is this reality, I simply decided to, first off, know what this version of Aaron was doing, the version of Aaron that was traveling the world, doing pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm in Costa Rica right now. And this is, I identified that version of me, the beliefs that I would have, the story I would tell myself, the way I would show up in the world, the actions, the thoughts, the emotions I would have. And in this reality, I felt those now. I decided this is who I am now. And I gave myself permission to be this version of me. And within a short period of time, this became my reality. So the one thing you must do is change your beliefs. Change your beliefs. Whatever you believe to be true about you, about your identity, is what is causing your reality to be on autopilot. Now, here's something really cool. I wasn't even going to talk about this. Right now, I'm at a life transformation place in Costa Rica. It's called Rythmia. It's an amazing place. I have, this is like 80 or 90 people is the space for how many people can be at this resort. Over 60 of them are people that are from Victor Otto, Lior Alexandra, and I's YouTube audience. And it's been amazing to see so many people transform. It's like the last day before we leave right now. You probably feel my energy too. I'm very relaxed. A little more space in between the words. And I've seen countless people transform their identity. Because when you come here, you do something called plant medicine, which is a little bit scary for some people to step into something like that, where you do this deep subconscious work. And when you do something like ayahuasca, for example, and this is the place, it's the only place in the world that I believe is medically licensed to do this. So it's safe, it's somewhere in Costa Rica. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link, if you wanna check it out below, you check it out. I'll go ahead and put a link below as well. You can let them know Aaron Doughty sent you. And I think you get something for that, I don't remember. But regardless, you can check it out, it's amazing. And we've seen so many people transform, and the way that they transform is they transform at the identity level. You come in here believing that you are this story, telling yourself, this is who I am, having an identity, having a strong momentum for the way you see yourself, and the pain of the past that you identify with now in the present moment. You come here and you go through 4 nights of plant medicine, and every night you go in, you just are a different person the next day. And by the last day, which was yesterday, was like, there's an all-night ceremony on Thursday, which is from 7 at night till 9 in the morning. And there's like a healing circle with one of the shamans, this guy's named Mitra, he's amazing. And you're just a different person. You change at the identity level. The way you come in here believing that you're this limiting story, that you are this, this human being that is this ego, and you come out of here realizing you are an eternal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, and that all this was autopilot mind. All this was a belief. And when you free yourself from your story, you then are in this new vibration where anything is possible. You're out of the habitual way that you've been thinking, feeling, and being, and it changes absolutely everything. When you do the work at the identity level, your whole entire life will begin to change. But you have to change your belief about who you are. And the way that I found to do this is by 90% of this process, by the way, in general, is awareness. And when you're in these plant medicine ceremonies, what will happen is you will have these experiences that show you who you are. You'll have these experiences that show you maybe something that happened in your past that had you living on in a type of autopilot type way. And when you become aware, that's 90% of the process, because then a lot of times you find that these things that you thought were you then realize they were patterned things from your past. I had this experience where I realized, so one of the things, I'll share with you a little bit what happened to me. So in one of the nights, the last night actually, I had this intention to find out why I worked very hard at my business. That's a belief. I have to work hard. And it's not that it's even a belief that I have to work hard. It's just more so that I love what I do. So I end up working hard because I work a lot of hours. I love making videos. I love doing content, and running my business and everything. And what I realized is that I have sometimes trouble letting go of trying to work hard and just relaxing. For example, I'm very strict with my routines. I'm very strict with my eating habits. I don't let myself have cheat meals too often. I find that it's hard for me to let go of enjoying myself, of just enjoying myself without having to always put the pedal to the metal and work and get ahead, like chasing money, love, and success, And I realized, and I said, okay, my intention for one of the nights is to find out why that's there. And this is what happened. It was actually really cool. I had I used to also, by the way, believe that I'm not a very visual person. I had this belief, I'm not visual, I just feel things. And at this time I worked on my beliefs. Remember, you get in life that which you believe. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna drop that belief from my identity that I'm not a visual person. I dropped it, and guess what? I started having very powerful visual experiences. So what happened was while I was in ceremony, I was laying down and I I had this vision, this like visual like memory or like metaphor in a way, where I said, okay, why do I have trouble just relaxing, enjoying myself and letting go of like trying to control like, you know, my success and everything? And I had these three, it was almost like I was at a doctor's office and there was like x-ray. So x-ray, x-ray, x-ray. And it was like a doctor was showing me. The idea was I was seeing like the big bright light with like the x-ray, and then another x-ray, and then another x-ray. And what I knew was immediately those are three different memories. So what I did is I went into one, I like looked into one, and then I was in a memory of my past. And I had this memory that I totally forgot about. But remember, 90% of this process of understanding our identity and the story we tell ourselves is becoming aware of it. So I became aware that when I was 5 or 6 years old, I don't know if you could see it, but I kind of have a cowlick right here, but there's like this, I'm growing up my hair, by the way. I decided, I was like, oh, I've been traveling for 2 months. I was like, I'm just gonna grow it out. But anyways, I had this, this scar. And when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I cracked my head on like a corner of a wall where I was like wearing a blanket. And I think I was like playing Ghost or something with like my brother. And I ran and I hit a wall. I hit a wall with the corner of my head and I had to get stitches. And it was only the real time I really cracked my head open. And I had to get stitches. And I remember my mom was like very worried and she took me to the doctors. And from that experience though, what I became aware of is I then had a belief that I associated pain with play. Because I was playing and then I got in pain and my mom, you know, I probably felt really bad because then my mom was worried about me. So from that moment, I started to develop a belief pattern that believed that it was painful for me to enjoy myself, to associate pleasure with having fun. You see? So in the moment that I became aware of that, I said, wait, this is a rule. This is a level of something I identified with that has been on autopilot because I've simply not been aware of it. So I wasn't able to enjoy myself. And then there were two other memories, some of which I think I've shared before. One involved like almost drowning in a pool. Once again, like jumping into the unknown, having fun, and then having something happen and feeling guilty for it. For you know, scaring my parents and having to jump in and save me. And that was also, you know, we associate things with pain and pleasure, but what happens is we have these meanings of things that have happened in the past that go unchecked because we make these choices about who we are, what's safe and unsafe, and the way reality is based on prior experience. But when you go in and you change the story, not even really have to change it, you just have to become aware of it. That's it. You become aware of that story that you tell yourself, you become aware of that story, and that's when everything begins to change. So 90% of the process of transforming from one level of identity to another level of identity is simply becoming aware of the current level of pattern of that identity, of becoming aware of the past meaning that you may have given something in your life, and the fact that that then is on autopilot, playing itself out until you become aware of it. So the story that you tell yourself about who you are is what's going to keep you trapped within the reality that you are currently in. And if you want to attract more money, love, success, whatever, you have to let go of the old story. You have to become aware of it. Because when you become aware of it, many times then you see it's not even yours. You see? You might become aware, oh, money is hard to make. Or there's only a limited amount of it. Or you'll be an evil person if you had it. That's not even your belief. That might be a belief of your parents. That might be a belief of something a movie that you watched growing up. But when you do inner work and you get into a meditative state, or you do something like come into a place like Rythmia, what happens is you become aware of these things. You become aware of the subconscious and you make it conscious. And 90% of the process of transformation is letting go of the old story, letting go of the old level of identity, and allowing yourself to deserve, beyond this. It's not that you have to then wire in this new story of I am Aaron Doughty and I make YouTube videos and I'm abundant. That's still a story. The deeper down you go, that's still a story. It's just a story that more resonates with who I am. But eventually, that story will change and I'll go beyond that. Maybe then it's not just even making YouTube videos. Maybe then it's like traveling and doing events, you see? So the stories will change, but they're still stories. But this old story is a story. This new story is a story. But which story do you identify with right now? What story resonates more with the way you prefer to be, with your soul? Are you doing what you love? Do you tell yourself a story that you can't do what you love? Do you tell yourself a story that you can't have the right relationship, or that you need to even have a relationship rather than knowing that you're already whole and complete? Is there a story and a blueprint for the way reality has to work for you? Something else I found powerful is to change your beliefs about what you believe it takes to change. If you believe that it's very hard to change your beliefs, then it will be hard. It can't be that easy. Here's the funny thing. Every moment we recreate ourselves. We recreate ourselves every moment, but we have a thread of the old story that we told ourselves. And what happens is every moment we're new. Every moment we're new. Every moment we're new. But most people, because of the pain of their past that they have hooked in, that they're carrying with them, what happens is the pain of their past or their past experiences, the past means they've given situations are on autopilot. Therefore, they are recreating themselves right now to have those hooks to the past. They're recreating themselves right now to have the hooks to the past. They're recreating themselves right now to have the hooks from the past, rather than disidentifying, becoming aware of it and letting it go, and then being free. And when you're free, that's where everything can then be in a higher vibration. That's where then things manifest easier than ever. It's about becoming free of the old story. So bridging, these are two stories. You have a story about the pain of your past, who you are, the story of your limitations, the beliefs you have about what you deserve, the beliefs about how hard it is to change. These are all just beliefs. It's all just a story. When you see it as a story, when you see it as just a belief, then what you could do is you can identify it for what it is. And then what you could do is you can identify the way you prefer to be. The part that's really connected to your heart. The beautiful butterfly right here. And then you identify the new. And what you then can do is realize that they're both stories, but that you prefer to be, not to tell yourself this new story, you prefer to be, give yourself permission to be this version of you. A lot of it has to do with permission. Can you give yourself permission to be this version of you? That's where things begin to change. I gave myself permission to be the version of Aaron that makes daily YouTube videos. I gave myself permission to be somebody that could meditate, because I let go of that old story and I started to observe my thoughts. And a lot of this also will have to do with stepping into the unknown. When you step into the unknown, that's where magical things can begin to happen. So, what I encourage you to do is to become aware of the story you tell yourself. And then what you can begin to do is let it go, see it for what it is, just a story. Become aware of old things coming up. Become aware of the subconscious mind. Become aware of these things, and then simply decide to wire in the new way of being. Because that's who you prefer to be now. So that's the key to this process. Now, bridge the story gap is what I say and how I talk about it. Like I said, a very powerful way to do that could be for you coming to a place like Rythmia, which is a very powerful place. If you're interested, you can click the link below and you can let them know that Aaron sent you. I think they'll give you like a shuttle fee, I forget, something like that. They waive something. And what they'll do is you can then join. It's a week-long process of being here. It's extraordinarily powerful. I've been here 3 times now. I've been through 12 ceremonies, and every single time I do, my life gets taken to the next level. My identity is changed. I've seen 60 other people from our audience, people that watch these videos, I've seen transform their entire lives. So if that's something that calls to you, you can click below. Other than that, I want you to know that 90% of the process is complete when you change your beliefs and you let go of your old story. That's what I did. That's why I'm at where I'm at right now in life, and it's what I'm going to continue to do, getting to the next level, which is of course here and now, because now is all that exists. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like me filming videos in different locations, could you smash that like button? Let me know. I'll continue to push myself to do more videos outside of like a room or a set place. Other than that, I will see you on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.